Hello, welcome to a video for Snake Eyes Ninja Commando from the Pursuit of Cobra, which is a G.I. Joe line. Go ahead and turn the card this way, and you can see that we've got Snake Eyes, and that he's the Ninja Commando. You got the little symbol here, which is the G.I. Joe logo for this universe of G.I. Joe. Turn him back this way, and you've got a portrait of the Snake Eyes figure here, the actual figure here, two stickers here. This first one is removable. It tells you about the new TV network, which is the hubworld.com. Still gotta check out that site though. As long as you're seeing this video before the release of October 10th of this year, 2010, is when we're supposed to get the new Renegades cartoon, is what I've read. And so then you also have this sticker here, which is the Hasbro one, but that one is not removable, unlike this one. If you want to, you can take that off. Then we'll go ahead and pick up the camera here. So then you also have the G.I. Joe logo here, which is the new updated one for the line. And then we have featuring Tornado Kick. Then we have number 1009 Snake Eyes. One person pointed out that that could mean that the year 10, 2010, and then 9 is the figure number. So the big thing will be next year if we see 11 and then the number of the figure, then we'll have a better clue of if that's really supposed to be the year or not. Then we'll go ahead and turn them around, I guess. Show off this part, GIJoe.com, his number again, what G.I. Joe is, which is, G.I. Joe is the code name, or at least this time, it's a code name for a special operations unit of highly trained men and women. Their purpose is to defend the world against Cobra, a ruthless organization with criminal tentacles in every nation on Earth. And then we also have how to activate Tornado Kick, and there it is. As I always try to do with most of my videos, is talk about what most, or the ones that I relate to the best, fans of G.I. Joe feel about certain things. And this right now, talking about the Tornado Kick, is something that most people do not like. So I welcome comments, opinions of why you guys do like the features, and even those, that would maybe more agree with me, not like the features. Even though this one is pretty good where they put it, the outcome's not too good. Supposedly Hasbro has all the research though, and the focus groups, and the kids really still like these features. I'm not really too much of a fan of it, but I do like how one other person pointed out, if you really do not like the Tornado Kick, you can take this figure and you can take off his head and pop off this part, switch the legs and the arms. The legs are a little easier to switch than the arms are because you have to crack the body and everything, but you can put this stuff on another figure and it's still good. But you kind of agree with the people that are like, I just paid money for this thing, why am I then trying to fix it? But as far as Hasbro's concerned and the kids, this thing is how it's supposed to be, and it's not broken and anything like that. So just some ideas on what you can do to make it a little bit better. So then we'll show off the little steps here to activate the Tornado Kick. They want you to wind up the body, push the button, which I don't know if it looks like it to you guys. I'll try and get it close up. But it almost looks like they're pushing on the knife sheath that's on the figure, which is right there, which would be nice because the button would be well hidden, which it still is pretty well hidden. But what they're talking about is, and I don't know if it will show up, but there's a button right here that's all in black, and you push that one, and then once you do that, he does this kick type of thing. And I'll try and show it off, but here we have the figure. He's got kind of a pose there. You have to, at least for me, put up his arms like this. You know, that still looks good because that's kind of how some people do kicks. And then you have to twist his body. It only goes one way. It doesn't go the other way unless you want to break it, of course. And then you'll see that with these pouches here, it might catch. So that time it didn't really catch too much. But I noticed that if you don't put your thumb upside down, like I'll show you with this finger, it kind of gets caught right there. So maybe a little kid has smaller fingers and so it will work a lot better. But another good point too though is that at least with the G.I. Joe figures, at least the ones that I have, the mid-torso joint usually doesn't really add that much to when I use my figures. And so the fact that you can still get him to twist at least that far, unless you want to click him all the way around, is pretty good. He can't go the other way, but he's still got a lot of movement in his body. And if you're somebody that grew up with G.I. Joe, you know that a lot of times, and maybe even some of the figures they have plans of releasing, because I think there's a Storm Shadow that might end up having a gimmick too. Most of the time they put it in the legs and you like squeeze the legs together and it does something, or the arm will be one way and then you can't really use it. So at least the articulation's still good. I think another good point too is that at least it's on a Snake Eyes figure. You know, if you have a decent G.I. Joe collection, you've got enough Snake Eyeses, so missing out on this one isn't really too bad. The fact that you can put the parts on another G.I. Joe figure and still get a more articulated figure if you really need one. I think those are all good, things that make me not feel too bad about this figure. Then we'll go on to the file card, which says Snake Eyes, name classified, serial number classified, grade classified, mission equipment, Kurosagama, it looks like, which is a sickle attached to a weighted metal chain. Snake Eyes is a ninja commando on the G.I. Joe team and a martial arts master trained in the mysterious Arakakashi ninja clan. As he battles Cobra and Ninja Storm Shadow, he expertly swings his nunchuck and crescent blade, then slams his enemy to the jungle floor with a tornado kick. So at least in the file card they try and make that tornado kick interesting. Then the other thing I wanted to point out is that as far as I can tell on Snake Eyes right here, his head is the repaint of this City Strike Snake Eyes. But other than that, I think all the parts on him are unique to this G.I. Joe figure. And then we'll go on to his accessories, because even if you don't like the figure, I think his accessories are really interesting and worth the price of paying for the figure. So you got the nunchuck. They're held together by a string, but that's nice because if you're a Ninja Turtle collector or some other action figures, you know that they used to just be held together with just another plastic string. Or not string actually, but just more plastic. So the fact that they're actual string and you can swing them around a little bit, get some different poses is cool. And then this is that weapon that I probably didn't pronounce correctly, the Kurosagama, it looks like. So there you have the sickle, and then this would be the weighted part. Not really sure. I think mostly this would be more to swoop and drop kick somebody and, probably take off some limbs or whatever. And then the fact that you want this weighted is because you would use this end to either knock someone in the head backwards or whatever, and then wrap around their legs or joints or whatever and pull them that way. So that one's nice. And then he comes with two of these right here. I'm not really sure what they're called, so if anyone wants to leave a comment, I would welcome that. But again, very nice things to grab onto limbs and trip them and all that kind of stuff, and kind of have this part right here to go, up against the neck of somebody, So two of those. And then this is what they're calling um, the crescent moon blade, I believe. Which I wish I would have looked it up, but this is more kind of like I think I've seen it that it's a Indian, not like Native America, but actual India type of weapon is where this comes out of. I don't know that they ever use this in Japan or China or anything like that, but could also be just another made up weapon by Hasbro. And then the last little bit about Snake Eyes is something I thought was interesting was you have Snake Eyes here, and he's actually in quite a bit of silver and black, and then of course the little red here for his clan that he belongs to, and then there's the G.I. Joe logo. It's really small, but the Pursuit of Cobra G.I. Joe logo. But he kind of reminds me of a figure that came out for Sigma 6 with all this armor that's on him. I wish I could remember what the figure was called, but I do have that one. But the other thing I wanted to point out with different color that's on Snake Eyes is that, and then you see his little arms are exposed right there and everything, is, unless you've been following G.I. Joe, you may not know that Snake Eyes is somebody that's usually in black, and really kind of interesting story to me about why Snake Eyes was in black is because when they first were releasing G.I. Joe back in the 80s, they wanted all the figures to be able to come out, but one of the figures that almost did not come out, and with his history and everything, it's kind of shocking to kind of think that it probably wouldn't have happened. But thankfully to this guy that had a really great thought, he was like, Snake Eyes looks too cool, he's got to be released, he's such a mysterious figure and everything. But they didn't have enough funds to warrant another figure being painted. And so this guy's great thinking was, well, how can I save money and still get these figures released? And his idea was, I'll just paint all the other figures, and all the money that I would have spent on them I won't spend on Snake Eyes, and I'll just release an all-black figure. So that's how we ended up with Snake Eyes usually being in all black, is because this guy really wanted everyone to see Snake Eyes and thought he was a cool figure and everything, and just because of the limitations in the funds for that first line of G.I. Joes, they released them in all black. But hopefully that was not too boring and all that kind of stuff. But here is a video for Snake Eyes from Wave 2 of Pursuit of Cobra. Alright, thanks for watching.